Hello guys! As you know, I recently made a community post saying that I would cover whichever show got the most likes, and I'm here to keep that promise. There were many nominees like The 8 Show or All of Us Are Dead, but the one with the highest number of likes was Stranger Things. And since the next season will be released on the 27th, I decided to start making videos about it. So we'll begin with the trailer breakdown. I know I'm a bit late to this, and there are already tons of videos out there, but hopefully I can share some new insights that weren't mentioned before. So let's get started. The trailer starts with a flashback from when Will was trapped in the Upside Down. This is confirmed by the first 5 minutes of Season 5 that Netflix released, where Will is captured by the Demogorgon and brought to Vecna. The most interesting part here is Vecna saying, "At least we can begin," meaning he needed Will to start his plan to return to the real world. But the question arises, did he specifically need Will, or would any human work? There are a lot of theories explaining why Will is crucial to Vecna and how everything connects in the end, but I'll talk more about that later in the video. Another interesting detail is that this scene takes place in the Hawkins library, the same place where Hopper and Joyce rescued Will at the end of Season 1. Just imagine, when Hopper was performing CPR on Will, Vecna might have been watching from the shadows, allowing them to take Will back. I always found it odd how Hopper and Joyce basically got a free pass in the Upside Down. No Demogorgon, no vines trying to grab them, nothing. So maybe it was all part of Vecna's plan, to let Will return to the real world, especially since Will was carrying a Demodog tadpole inside him. We then see Dustin proudly wearing his Hellfire Club shirt. He shows incredible courage doing so. He's even beaten up because of it. But he doesn't care. He just wants to honor Eddie's memory. Next, we see the Hawkins library again, but this time from the real world. And this is where the main action will take place. We see how heavily guarded it is, and for good reason, considering how massive this portal has become. We also see some hangars here, and I'm pretty sure these are the same hangars from the shot with the kids. The trailer continues with a shot showing that Hawkins is now under military quarantine. No one can enter or leave the town. We also see the military back at the school, guarding the students. We continue with a shot of Joyce and Eleven in the underground tunnels created in Season 2. This will likely be their main way of traveling throughout the town, now that Hawkins is under military surveillance. I'm sure Sullivan is still hunting for Eleven, so the tunnels are the only way to move safely. In Season 5, the base of operations won't be the Byers or the Wheelers' home. This time, it's the radio center building. And I think the main reason is the radio frequencies. This theme appears throughout the teaser and trailer. Steve has an antenna on his car, there's a van with broadcast equipment, and there's a shot of Lucas running from a demo dog while carrying an unconscious Max and a radio phone. We also see black particles attacking the radio tower antenna, so this will definitely be a key element in Season 5. Maybe they use this place to communicate between the Upside Down and the real world, coordinating their moves like they did at the end of Season 4. Or maybe they're preparing to play music in case someone else falls under Vecna's control. Or maybe both. Let me know your theories in the comments. We get multiple shots of Eleven and Hopper in the Upside Down, including one where they encounter a strange wall and another where they infiltrate a military lab. The Duffer Brothers confirmed that the military sets up a base of operations in the Upside Down this season, so this is most likely where Eleven and Hopper are sneaking in. We also see Mike stepping up as a leader, planning to find Vecna and end this nightmare once and for all. And I just love the next shot of Eleven lifting herself over the fence. I know she's not literally flying, but it's a great little power-up moment. We saw her training in the teaser, and the fact that she no longer gets nosebleeds after using her powers says a lot about how much she's improved. Moving on to a scene with a worried Joyce and Mike, we see someone lying on the couch, and based on the shoes and the look on their faces, that person is most likely Will. He seems to be unconscious again, trapped in the Upside Down. But what's really interesting here, and what immediately caught my attention, is that I believe this scene takes place after the big fight at the library. Hear me out. When the battle happens, we see Joyce and Mike helping rescue some kids, most likely from those hangars I mentioned earlier, and Joyce is carrying an unconscious Will. Why would they brought Will with them if he had already been unconscious from the start? It doesn't make any sense. We also see that when Vecna finally arrives in the real world, and we get that awesome shot of him pulling Will toward him and saying, "William, you will help me one more time." Will is conscious, so here's what I think happens. When the group first arrives at the library, Will is still conscious, but after the military loses the fight against the Demogorgons, Vecna captures him again and infects him the same way he was infected by the Mind Flayer. From that moment on, Will stays unconscious. Next, we have a scene with Mike, Lucas, Dustin, and Will planning their next move. And based on the two figurines Mike places on the church-looking picture, those two pieces represent Mike's and Will's D&D characters. But the concerning part comes right after that. We see Will wandering away from the group, looking terrified. I don't know about you, but this looks very similar to Chrissy's scene where she saw the clock in the woods. Maybe the Mind Flayer still has some control over Will and heard the entire plan. That would explain why they were never able to locate Vecna until now. We then see Nancy and Jonathan facing a massive surge of energy. I read some articles saying this moment is confirmed to be from Volume 2, so it might be the climax. The scene takes place on top of Hawkins' lab in the Upside Down, and whatever that mass of energy is, it's clearly dangerous. The first time it formed, it melted everything around it. Just look at the walls. No matter what it is, I really hope that the explosion shot we see later isn't happening right after Nancy aims her gun and fires at it, because if that's the case, those two are absolutely doomed. As if the trailer wasn't already concerning, we then get a shot of Nancy crying and washing blood off her hands in what looks like a hospital hallway. And I'm sorry to say this, but everything points to that blood belonging to Ted. We saw the detailed scene where Holly and Karen are attacked by a Demogorgon and hide in the bathtub. We also see that they survive, because in another shot, we see them hugging in the kitchen, and their hair is still wet, meaning that scene happens right after the bathtub moment. But here's the concerning part. Ted is nowhere to be seen. The Demogorgon was clearly hunting Karen and Holly in the upstairs bathroom, most likely tracking their scent. But since they hid underwater with bath foam, their scent was masked. Still, if the Demogorgon made it that far into the Wheeler house, it probably means Ted is no longer alive. I really hope he's just somewhere else, but honestly, we rarely see him outside the house, and we especially never see him alone. So maybe he died protecting his wife and daughter, buying them time to escape and hide. The next important shot in the trailer is the one with a body falling through some strange space. The most popular fan theory is that this person is Holly, and the main argument comes from the title of Episode 2, The Vanishing of Holly Wheeler. One thing I forgot to mention in the library attack scene is the introduction of a new main character, Derek. He even got his own poster. Derek is Holly's classmate, and most likely he will die in Season 5. He'll probably sacrifice himself so that others can survive. There's really no other purpose to introduce a brand new character in the final season, unless he's meant to be a scapegoat. Another major piece of new information about Season 5 is that this time, we'll actually see scenes from the Demogorgon's point of view. This is confirmed by the Duffer brothers and by that quick TikTok shot where we see the red Demogorgon vision looking at Joyce, most likely during the barn scene. And there you have it. I didn't cover every single moment because many scenes have already been overanalyzed by others. Instead, I wanted to give you a solid overview of the season's setup. I'll rewatch Stranger Things to make sure I'm fully up to date, and I'll keep you updated in future videos. If there's a particular Stranger Things topic you want me to cover, let me know in the comments and I'll make sure to address it.